Yeah, sure. No. Next, yeah, definitely. Let's touch base again in a couple of weeks, and you let me know how it's going. Just remember to put all the ducks in a row first, yeah, before launching the campaign. All right, no problem. You have a great day, yeah? I talk to you soon. Bye. Hey, sorry about that. I was just on a mentoring call. I was sort of mentoring one of the founders of the startups that I work with, and just getting some bits and pieces going. Today's piece is today's video is about mentoring. Right. Okay. So first, let me start with a quote, right, and then we will head into the topic. Okay. So this is from Seneca, and Seneca says, "We are in the habit of saying that it was not in our power to choose the parents who were allotted to us, that they were given to us by chance, but we can choose whose children we would like to be." Now, Seneca is not really talking about parents and children, literally. Um, it's more of a metaphor, right? So what he's really saying is that, okay, yeah, but maybe your parents were great role models, right? Maybe they are your mentors. Maybe they have advised you through your life and they still advise you, but maybe not. But that's not what he's really referring to. What he's talking about is that we can choose to be children to people that we think are, right for us. Okay, so it's nothing but the concept of mentorship, right? So mentorship is about someone finding an experienced person who's going to guide them through the journey that they've already been on, right? So the mentor has already been there, done that. And someone is now just starting out on that journey. It could be business, right? It could be a new venture. It could also be other things in life, such as self-development, or it could be love, it could be marriage, it could be bringing up or raising children, or solving problems in life. But in this video, I would like to focus on the business and career side of things. So in the business environment, if, let's say, a young or even an older person is starting out on a new venture, they're starting out a new brand, they're launching a new business, then the two ways of going about it, first is, of course, doing it by themselves, which is fantastic. Everyone does that. A lot of people do that. The second is to actively seek out a mentor, someone who's already been there and done that, so that they can sort of leverage the experience of that person. Because the biggest hurdle in achieving success in business is how to handle mistakes. First of all, how to prevent mistakes, and then, of course, how to handle mistakes. And no one can ever prevent, hurdles or mistakes or challenges in a business venture. But if you have a mentor, you could be aware of what you might be potentially facing. So now, of course, everybody knows about mentors. I mean, I'm just, for the sake of completeness, I'm talking about what a mentor is, but I'm sure you know what a mentor is, right? Maybe you're a mentor yourself, right? But if you're in business, even if you're an experienced businessman, even if you've been running your business for quite a while, or if you've been running your brand for quite a while, I think it is a great idea to get a mentor. So where do you find these mentors? These days, finding mentors online is probably the easiest thing. Networking events used to be popular for and effective for getting mentors, but that was, I think, a few years ago. These days, networking events it's just about sales, right? Everybody in that event is out there to sell their company, to sell their services, to sell their products. There is no, mentors are not really hanging out in those events. And I'm not really, just saying it for the sake of saying it. I am experiencing it myself. I used to go to a lot of networking events, networking lunches, and so on and so forth. But I've stopped going to such events probably 2 years ago, because I found that, number one, networking events were primarily hunting grounds for recruiters or people just selling their professional services. So anyone you meet, they would then get into a pitch and talk about their service, or which is okay. I mean, this is what networking is. You meet people, then you talk to them, and you let them know what you do, what your brand does, what your business does, and then you get to know what the other person does, right? But I found that it was becoming an aggressive environment where people were just, they would give you a pitch, they were not interested in what you're about, and then they would just move on. But anyway, this video is not about the evils of networking events, right? No. So online, find out. Okay, so let's say you're on Twitter or you're on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great place to find mentors. In fact, the people that I mentor came to me on LinkedIn. And so when you find someone you admire or appreciate, or you think that they're doing something good in business, if you're reading their articles, or if you're following their podcast, or if you're watching their videos, reach out to them. Follow them over a period of time. This is not about simply turning up at their door, knocking on the door, and just simply saying, hey, you know what? I'm launching a business, or I am running a business, and I want to make more money, right? So will you help me? Although the premise is that, which is, you ask, you tell the mentor what your problem is, or rather what your challenge is, and then you ask for help. But you gotta do it in a better way, okay? First, you need to build a relationship. And as a mentor, I can see messages to me that are primarily self-possessed and self-driven from a mile away, right? So mentors, experienced people, would see that coming a mile off. So be genuine, okay? Don't just drop a few comments on their articles or on their threads and then bang, the next thing you're getting in there to take something from them. Because mentorship is about giving, right? So for example, as a mentor, I give. It's not a paid thing. I don't charge money for being a mentor. Yeah, I do charge money by being a consultant, a strategist. So I have a set of clients with whom I work, and there's also mentoring going on there. There's strategy, there's consultation, and I charge for that, and clients pay me for that. But on the other hand, I also do mentoring where I don't really charge anything, right? So that's about me giving back to the universe for helping me be where I am through in my business and the successes that I've had. So be very respectful and build a relationship. It's not easy, because the person whom you think is going to be a great mentor for you is a certain level in business, right? At a certain stage, they're probably running their own business. I think so. More than one. They're probably on the board of directors for one or more of businesses out there. They're probably writing articles, they're making videos, they're making podcasts, they have families, they have hobbies, so they're busy people, right? So build a genuine relationship by being genuinely interested in what they're doing, and also offering maybe your own viewpoint when you get on their podcast, or when you are commenting on their articles, or when you're trying to reach out on Twitter. They post something, you have an opinion about that, let them know. But have patience. It takes time. To get a good mentor, it takes time. Don't get frustrated easily. If the mentor that you're seeking out, if they don't respond to your messages or they don't acknowledge you initially, don't get frustrated. Don't just move on. In fact, don't become bitter, right? Don't become bitter thinking, oh my God, this guy's so high and mighty or whatever. I mean, I've seen this happening. Believe me, I've seen people get frustrated and bitter just because someone doesn't respond to them. Gary Vee talks about this. But the fact of the matter is that the person whom you admire so much, is there for a particular reason, right? I mean, you admire them because of the things that they have achieved, and they can't achieve that without spending time on working through and working for things that they stand for. So don't get frustrated. It's not going to happen overnight. If you're lucky, it may, but usually it does not happen overnight. It takes time. It takes a long time. Try and see if you can send out an email, right? Send an email and state your case. Start with an introduction. Tell them how much you admire their work and be genuine about it. Talk about things that you really understand and something that where you connected. Give them the story. Then tell them about your venture, your challenge, and then finally ask for help. And believe me, if you do it properly, you will get a response. Because people who have been there and done that, a lot of them are looking to give back, right? And they're passionate about what they've done, what they've achieved. Like, for example, me. The reason I mentor is, yes, one thing is to give back, but I'm also excited about the journey of new ventures. And I would like to share, what I've learned over the last 20, 21, 22 years. So yeah, that's the way to do it, build a relationship and then reach out. And also remember, mentoring, right? If it is free, then, don't try and, it's not something you demand, right? It's something you receive. So somebody gives and you receive. But the important point is that always have a mentor. Whatever stage of business you are in, the journey you're in, always seek out a mentor, always have a mentor. In fact, you're already doing it, right? Everyone does it. When they're watching a video, when they are reading an article, when they're listening to a podcast, they are actually listening to a mentor, right? They're reading from a mentor. That's passive mentorship. But what I'm talking about is trying to seek an active mentor. Now, I have a mentor. I have more than one mentor right now. After 22 years of being in business, of taking my agency, my branding agency, from zero to millions of dollars in revenue, launching an incubator where I invest and work with startups, and of course I mentor the founders of those startups. After all these years, and I don't say this to brag, but just to say this is what I've achieved, right? This is my track record. And yet, today, I have, more than two mentors, two or three, actually three mentors. And these guys, I reach out to them when I have challenges that I need to handle, or even just to touch base. I have a new idea for a new venture. I reach out and I say, listen, this just came up on my table. What do you think? If you were in my position, what would you do? Just and of course I offer back whatever I can to help them out. So this is like a give and take. Maybe you're not in a position to give your mentor anything, but don't worry. You become a mentor. I'm sure there is something that you've achieved and you're an expert at, right? Seek out people that you can mentor without expecting anything in return from them. And that's how you build the cycle. All right? Yeah, so This video has already been quite lengthy, but it is a great topic. It is something that I would definitely recommend you sort of study and learn about and then seek out. But you must always have a mentor. Always. All right. See you in the next video.